In today's video, we're going to go through a cookie franchise, Crumbl Cookies, that has a 3x return over their competitors. So in today's video, we're going to go through the franchise cost, franchise payback, if you can even get into a Crumbl Cookies, in what states, as well as 3 competitors, where if you're still stuck on cookies and you want to get in the space, then you can consider these 3 alternatives for Crumbl Cookies. But I have to say, they really don't compare at all when you look at the financials of Crumbl Cookies. So let's get right into the facts of Crumbl Cookies. This franchise hasn't even been around for 5 years yet. They were founded on August 14th of 2017. That's when the first Crumbl Cookies opened up their locations by 2 cousins, Jason McGowan and Sawyer Hemsley. They're the 2 co-founders of Crumbl Cookies, and it's been less than 5 years, and they've helped franchisees across the United States open hundreds of locations, where right now they're in 42 states. Commitments, basically franchises open or in the process of opening, of over 500 locations in the United States. So there's not much territory right now for Crumbl Cookie would-be franchise candidates. Basically, it's really limited to New England as well as a few states in the Midwest. Forget Florida, forget California, forget a lot of the Sun Belt. It's just not an opportunity in the United States. However, they are expanding in Canada and in Mexico as well as Japan. Now, the total cost to open up a Crumbl Cookies is going to set you back $227,000 all the way up to about $567,000. That does include a franchise fee of $50,000. However, the franchise fee was discounted if you signed up before June 30th of this year, 2022. Classic sales technique to drive urgency, drive people to start signing up to open up their Crumbl Cookies franchises. The sales are incredible for this franchise. Average sales of $1.6 million for franchisees, as well as median sales of $1.5 million. So you don't have a situation where there's 10, 20 franchisees that are selling incredible amounts and then everyone else is kind of not doing as well. They're all doing pretty well in the franchise system. And from what I've seen, there hasn't been a single closure, with hundreds of locations opened up in a little less than a 5-year tenor. So if you're making the EBITDA around 18%, we expect you to be making nearly $300,000 with your Crumbl Cookies franchise. And by the time you sign the franchise agreement, get the site selected, open up your store, and get to $200K, $300K, $350K in income, we expect you can get your money back in as little as 2.5 years. And there are some franchisees that have made their money back a lot faster than that. It's a fantastic opportunity for true owner-operators. They don't want someone that's just a part-time. They want franchise owners that are going to grow to the brand and be very present in the Crumbl Cookie bakeries. Now, these 2 cousins are already rich, and they're getting richer by the month, by the week. Back in 2019, they had net income for the company these 2 cousins own of $250,000. In 2020, they netted $2.2 million. That's a 10x increase. But wait, 2021, these 2 cousins made $22 million. That's $11 million each. One of the cousins, I think, graduated from Utah State just in 2017 or 2018. So that's not bad for someone in their 20s. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the corporate structure of Crumbl Cookies. I imagine one of these 2 cousins is going to be enticed to sell his shares, or both of them to sell their shares, either to a publicly traded restaurant company or to a private equity company that's going to buy the franchise system and really grow this brand further in the United States, yes, but bring it abroad and really grow the presence across the globe. Impressive. I haven't seen any other franchise at 10x their net income, as well as opens up franchises as smoothly as these guys. I mean, if they can 10x their net income again to $220 million for 2022, that would just be incredible. I'd imagine it's going to fall somewhere in the $50 mil to $70 million category. My bet, though, if you look at 2024, 2025, Crumbl Cookies is going to be owned by a larger company, and maybe one or both of these cousins are going to be involved. but it's hard to say no when someone's offering a check to buy your company for $100 million, $200 million, $300 million. Let's see what happens there. If you're already in Crumbl Cookies, congrats to you. If you're looking to get in and you're in New England, definitely a brand to consider, as the alternatives aren't really that good. They're not that enticing. We went through some of the other popular cookie franchises. I won't bore you so much. Let's go through them quickly. The first one's a childhood favorite from me, Mrs. Fields Cookies. I'd go to the mall growing up in Northern Virginia, always like once a week, going to Mr. Fields. They have 128 franchise locations, been around for decades, investment about $250 to $415. For their 2021 calendar year, the franchisee made $264,000 in revenue, not earnings. So while a Crumbl Cookies franchisee is making $260K, $280,000, $300,000 in his pocket, the Mrs. Fields franchise owner, lucky to be making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 from Mrs. Fields franchise. We estimate a payback period if you do the midpoint investment amount to open up a new Mrs. Fields cookie of $335,000 to open up. 15% profit margin. It's going to take you about 10, 11, 12 years to get your money back. Great American Cookies, recently bought by Fat Brands, a publicly traded company. They have about 370 locations, but that should go up though. I imagine closer to 500 as Fat Brands bought a smaller cookie company and they're changing the name Nestle Toll House Cafe, that franchise system. So the unit count should go up. Investment amount to open up a Great American Cookies franchise is anywhere from $270,000 to $400,000. And again, franchisees are making about the same as Mrs. Fields, $267,000. That's revenue. That's not income. So where Crumbl Cookie franchisees put $260, $280 in their pocket, a Great American Cookies franchisee, I think, would be lucky making $40K, $50K through this business. And I imagine it's probably going to take about 10 years to get your capital back if you open up a Great American Cookies franchise in 2022. Now, there is an up-and-coming franchise with slightly better numbers, also based in Utah like Crumbl Cookies, which is Dirty Dough. They just have 5 locations. One of their affiliate locations discloses financials, and they're doing just south of $500,000 in revenue, so nearly double Mrs. Fields as well as Great American Cookies. However, they're 1/3 of the revenue that the average Crumbl Cookies franchisee is making. So interesting concept to follow, but it doesn't compare at all to Crumbl Cookies. Another brand that everyone asks about, Insomnia Cookies, we did an article on. It does not franchise, and it's owned by a large publicly traded European restaurant group. So there you have it. Crumbl Cookies, our 2022 update. 3 alternatives to Crumbl Cookies. If you live in New England, take a look at Crumbl Cookies. They're available there. If you don't live in New England and you are elsewhere in the U.S., you're going to have to move. You can move to Mexico, open up a franchise there, Canada, Japan. Those are 3 countries that they're actively looking for franchisees. And I'm sure for our international viewers and listeners, it might be worth reaching out to Crumbl to see if you can bring a Crumbl Cookies to your country. Full disclaimer, not paid by Crumbl Cookies at all, nor any of the franchises that were mentioned on today's episode. If there's other franchises or industries you'd like us to review, just shoot me an email at patrick@vettedbiz.com. Thanks.